So if you're someone who has, had an opportunity to know God for a while,
Clap back for Jesus. Clap back for Jesus.
or you are someone who constantly find yourself in meetings or have Bible discussions with people, one common question you are always asked is, what is the best Bible translation out there?
Go and ask your grandfather.
Which one should I use? What is the best Bible, to work with? And to that, I would say there are no best translation. There are just translation that best suit certain purpose, and there are translation that suits certain condition. It could be your personal devotion time. It could be Bible meetings. It could be maybe discussing the word with someone,
Let's have it. Let's have it.
and it could just be a personal bias. Like some people don't like the King James version because they feel the English is outdated and it's kind of hard to follow through. But I'm biased to the King James version, and I'm biased to the New American Standard Bible and the Amplified Bible. These are some of my Bible translation I prefer. Not that others are bad or are not good, but it's just that they are the ones that best suit me. So it's for you to decide which best suits you. And this is what we will be looking at. How do you know the best Bible translation for you? What Bible translation favors a particular purpose? Are you reading for understanding? Are you reading to get deeper revelation? Are you reading to explain to someone else? Or are you recommending a Bible for someone who just, gave their life to Christ and coming to know God? What Bible translation would you recommend for them? So we'll be diving into this, and I'm going to be explaining to you how the canonized Bible came to be, because this is what will help you decide which Bible translation you would prefer for yourself or you would recommend for someone else. Personally, I feel all the Bible translations, they are all good. They have their all shortcomings,
Oh my
but they are all good Bibles. You could go for any, you could work with any. But in the course of this video, I will be speaking basically on the hard copies of Bibles I've come across. So permit me if I'm not speaking about Bible apps and all that. There are many apps out there. I'm not recommending any apps to anyone. You could pick whatever one you want. But I'll be speaking basically on the hard copy Bibles I've come across over the years and I've worked with and I've used in my personal devotional time, and how this Bible translation has helped me in Bible interpretation and understanding the Word of God. So let's dive into it.
Finally!
So the Bible we know today, the 66 books of the canonized Bible, did not originate in English. They originated in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. This was hand copied by scribes and was translated into different languages as the gospel of Jesus Christ continued to spread around the world.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Now, one of the fundamental tradition behind the Old Testament text is the Masoretic tradition. Now, this tradition led to the Masoretic text. This was the Bible translation written meticulously by Jewish scribes known as Masoretes. They led to the Hebrew Bible being written, adding vowels, annotation to preserve correct pronunciation and interpretation. Now, this became the standard Hebrew text for the Jewish community and later formed a major basis for the Old Testament translation, rather, as we know it today. Now, in the broader history of the Bible and transmission, another important development was the translation of the Hebrew Bible into Greek. This is known as the Septuagint. I hope I pronounced that right. Now, this became one of the widely used Bible as at that time. And over the years, we had the Bible being translated into Latin in a form known as the Vulgate, which became the dominant Bible of Western Christian for many centuries. Now, each stage of representation, preservation, and then interpretation of the Bible, led to works by translators, you know, to make the text accessible to new audience while preserving the original context of earlier works, handwritten by scribes. Now, due to the meticulous work done by these scribes, this led to, modern scholars now have their hands on so much, manuscript, thousands of manuscripts, of especially of the New Testament. Currently we have about 5,800 manuscripts in Greek and thousands more in Latin. The Old Testament is primarily based on the Masoretic text, like we mentioned, and is further supported by the discovery of the Dead Sea Scroll. That's a story for another day. It's actually quite an interesting one. But the Dead Sea Scroll actually gave validation to current manuscript that we have, because the Dead Sea Scroll is actually thousands of years older. Now, despite minor variation between manuscripts, now mostly related to spellings, word order, style difference, the overall consistency is extremely high, and the core teaching remains constant, stable in all the texts that you will find out there. So, modern Bible translations are built upon this manuscript evidence. Now, however, not all translations follow the same pattern. Some have the word for word approach, the more formal approach, and we have the thought for thought approach, and which is more dynamic approach, or dynamic equivalence as it is known as. Now, the difference in method explains why translations can sometimes vary in words while still convey similar message. Now, among modern translations, now often those regarded as the most accurate to study. So this leads us back to our earlier question: which is the best Bible translation to work with, or which would you recommend for anyone? Now, like I said, and I'm still staying on my stance, there are no perfect Bible translation. There are those that are preferred, and there are those that are better for a particular purpose. Now, among the modern English translation, one of the most regarded as accurate, I will put it that way, are the New American Standard Bible and the English Standard Version. Now, these tend to stay closer to the original language in terms of structure and wording. Now, the King James Version, now, though historically significant and still valued in terms of its literal style, is based on a later translation. The King James Version of the Bible had to work with what they had then. But now we have older manuscripts like the Dead Sea Scroll, but still very, very consistent with what was used in translating the King James Version as at the 1600.